Hello, my dears. I'm happy to see you here again on our channel, where we talk about what matters most, our health and well-being in the golden years. Tell me honestly, does this feeling sound familiar? You get comfortable in your favorite armchair with a book or in front of the TV, time flies by, an hour, another hour, and then you try to stand up and your body feels like it's not your own. Your legs have gone numb, your back aches, your head feels heavy, as if you weren't resting, but unloading wagons. Why does this happen, especially after 60? It's because with age, our blood vessels become less elastic, blood flow slows down, muscles lose tone faster, and joints require more movement for lubrication. When you sit still for longer than 30 minutes, your body literally starts to shut down. Blood pools in your legs, the muscles in your back and abdomen relax and stop supporting your spine, and your metabolism slows down, turning you into a slowly smoldering ember instead of a bright fire of energy. The main culprit isn't sitting itself, but its continuity. It's like leaving a car engine idling for several hours, seemingly doing nothing, but wear and tear occurs, fuel is wasted, and the system gets clogged. Similarly, our body gets clogged up, with stagnation and tension from prolonged sitting. But don't rush to get upset. I promise you, by implementing just one simple habit, which we'll discuss in detail today, you'll feel a surge of energy, lightness in your body, and clarity of mind that you might have started to forget. And it won't require titanic efforts or expensive equipment. Ready to get your vitality and mobility back? Then stay with me until the end, and let's figure out together how to revitalize your body with simple movement. So, the main secret is simple, like all strokes of genius. Interrupt your sitting every 30 minutes with a short movement. Just 2-3 minutes. No need for a full workout. Just stand up, walk around, stretch. Seems too simple? Let me tell you a few stories of people who thought so too. 1. Revitalize blood flow. Goodbye, heavy legs. Our first tip, every half hour, stand up and simply walk around the room for 2 to 3 minutes. You can walk to the kitchen for a glass of water or just march in place by the window. The main thing is to get the blood moving more actively through your veins. I remember Arthur. He was 72. An avid fan of crosswords and old movies. He could sit for hours in his worn leather armchair, which he called his captain's bridge. His main complaint was lead weights in his legs by evening and constantly cold feet. When I suggested he stand up every half hour, he snorted, "Nonsense! Am I a little soldier jumping up on command? And what difference will 2 minutes of walking back and forth make? It'll just distract me from my crossword." He was used to the heaviness in his legs, considering it an inevitable companion of age. Internally, he resisted. It seemed like pointless fuss disrupting his peace and rituals. But his daughter Mary was persistent and gave him a kitchen timer shaped like a funny tomato. "Dad, just try it for me. Set it for 30 minutes. When it rings, get up, walk to the window and back." Reluctantly, Arthur agreed. The first few days, he did it grumbling. But within a week, he noticed. His legs bothered him much less in the evening, and after a month, he realized with surprise that he'd forgotten the last time he felt that unpleasant coldness in his feet. Why? It's simple. When you sit, your calf muscles, our second heart for venous blood, are inactive. Blood stagnates in your legs, like water in a pinched hose. But when you stand up and walk, the muscles contract, actively pushing blood upwards towards the heart. It's like turning on a pump. These short walks cleared the swamp in his veins and improved circulation. Imagine a stream. As long as it flows, the water is clear and fresh. If it stops, it turns into a stagnant puddle. The same happens with our blood. Arthur not only got rid of the heaviness and cold, but also noticed his head became clearer, because brain circulation improved too. So, my dears, don't be lazy. When the timer rings, or just look at the clock, stand up. Give your blood the chance to run cheerfully and freely through your vessels. This is your first step towards lightness. Okay, we've revitalized the blood flow, but what about the muscles that weakened so treacherously over the years? 2. Awaken muscles, regain strength and confidence. Second tip, during your short break, do a few simple exercises on the spot. For example, do 10 to 15 calf raises holding onto the back of a chair, or do 5 to 10 shallow squats, also holding onto support. You can simply rotate your shoulders backward, opening your chest. Meet Eleanor, she's 68. She had been quite active all her life, working as a nurse, always on her feet. But after retiring, she started spending more time at home, knitting and reading. And she began to notice an unpleasant thing. It became difficult for her to get up from a low sofa, and climbing the stairs to the second floor turned into a challenge. She felt weak, and this angered and upset her terribly. "Am I turning into a wreck so quickly?" she thought bitterly. It seemed to her that doing exercises at home was admitting weakness. It was old people's stuff that she had always despised. She remembered herself as strong and energetic, and this new weakness caused internal protest and even shame. Her friend, Jane, advised her to try these micro-exercises during TV commercials. Eleanor initially waved it off. "Oh, what good will that do? It's ridiculous." But Jane was persuasive. "Try at least the calf raises. It's so simple." Eleanor decided to try, but without much enthusiasm. She started with 5 calf raises during each commercial break. After a couple of weeks, she increased it to 10. Then she added shallow squats, holding onto the windowsill. 2 months passed, and one day, climbing to her second floor, she caught herself thinking, I'm hardly out of breath, and my legs feel somehow more confident, and getting up from the sofa stopped being a problem. What's the secret? Our muscles work on the use it or lose it principle. Prolonged sitting signals to them, we're not needed, you can relax and atrophy. Short but regular muscle engagement, even as simple as calf raises or squats, sends the opposite signal. Hey, you're needed. Let's work. They maintain muscle tone, strengthen legs and back. It's like constantly tuning the strings of a guitar. If you don't do it, they'll sag, and there will be no sound. The same with muscles. Without regular tuning, they lose their strength. Eleanor felt not just physically stronger, but more confident in herself. She regained a sense of control over her body. Therefore, my friends, don't neglect these simple movements. Let your muscles know that they are still very much needed. Every small effort is an investment in your strength and independence. We've toned the muscles, that's wonderful. But what about the core that holds our entire body, our spine, and that nagging back pain that so often comes after long sitting? If you're still watching this video and find the information useful, write the number 2 in the comments or something nice if what I'm saying is helpful so I know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time to fix that. Subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. All right, let's move on. 3, straighten your back. Goodbye, pain and slouching. Our third tip, during the break, pay attention to your posture and back. Stand up straight, reach the crown of your head upwards, straighten your shoulders, bring your shoulder blades together. Do 2 to 3 slow side bends. You can perform a gentle twist. Sitting on a chair, gently turn your torso to one side, then the other, helping yourself with your hands on the chair back. The main thing is to remind your back that it can be straight. Meet Walter. He's 73. A former accountant. He was used to spending a lot of time sitting, first at his desk and in retirement, reading newspapers and watching sports. His constant companion was a nagging pain in his lower back and an unpleasant feeling of a stake between his shoulder blades. He had long since given up on it. Age, arthritis, what can you do? He often caught himself sitting slumped, but straightening up already felt somehow uncomfortable, even a bit painful. The thought that some stretches could help with pain he considered inevitable and serious seemed naive to him. Pills don't always help, and you're talking about moving my shoulders, he grumbled at his wife when she asked him to sit up straighter. He had resigned himself to the discomfort and slouching, considering it part of aging. His physical therapist, whom he consulted about knee pain, noticed his sitting habit and advised, Walter, every time you stand up, and you should stand up every half hour, just do this. Stand against the wall, press your heels, buttocks, shoulder blades, and the back of your head against it. Stand like that for half a minute. Remember this feeling of a straight back. Then step away and try to maintain it. Walter was skeptical, but decided to try. It wasn't hard. He started doing this exercise against the wall during his short breaks. He also added straightening his shoulders and bringing his shoulder blades together every time he got out of his chair. At first, it felt strange. The back muscles seemed unwilling to obey. But after a few weeks, he noticed with surprise that the nagging lower back pain bothered him less often and less intensely. And his wife said he seemed taller. What happened? When we sit for a long time, especially slumped, the core muscles, abdomen and back, which should support the spine, relax, and forget their job. The entire load falls on the spine and ligaments, which causes pain and fatigue. Short posture exercises are like a reminder for the muscles. Wake up. Your job is to keep the back straight. Imagine your spine is a ship's mast, and your back and abdominal muscles are the shrouds, the ropes that hold the mast upright. If the shrouds slacken, muscles relax, the mast will lean under any breeze, load. By regularly tightening these shrouds with simple exercises, you give your spine reliable support. Walter not only reduced his pain, but also felt more confident, because a straight posture is not only health, but also dignity. So, my dears, don't forget about your back. Every half hour, give it a chance to straighten up. Stretch, straighten your shoulders. Your back will thank you, and your posture will be regal. We've straightened the back, awakened the muscles, improved blood flow. But what about our joints, which love to creak and remind us of their presence with age? 4. Lubricate joints. Give your body flexibility. 4th tip. During the break, do some gentle rotational movements in your joints. Rotate your wrists, feet, as if drawing a circle in the air with your big toe. Carefully, rotate your head. If you have no neck problems, very slowly and with a small range of motion. Make small circular movements with your pelvis. Let's remember Robert. He was 75. He suffered from morning stiffness in his knees and lower back. After sitting at the computer for a long time, he was learning the internet. He would stand up, as he said, like a rusty robot. He was convinced that any extra movement would only harm his worn-out joints. "I need rest, not your gymnastics," he told his son, who was trying to get his father moving. Robert was afraid of pain. He remembered how easily he used to move, and his current state seemed like a sentence. The thought of additional movements caused him fear of increased pain and discomfort. He preferred not to touch the sore spots. His son showed him a simple exercise. Sitting on a chair, alternately extend legs parallel to the floor and rotate the foot in one direction and then the other. "Dad, it's really easy. You don't even stand up. Just try it when you feel you've been sitting too long." Robert looked skeptical but decided to try. It couldn't hurt, right? He started doing these rotations with his feet and hands every half hour or hour. At first, he didn't notice a difference, but after about a month, he realized he was getting out of bed easier in the morning and his knees weren't so wooden. And after an hour at the computer, he could stand up without the usual unbending accompanied by a groan. Why? Our joints are covered with cartilage and lubricated by special synovial fluid. This fluid nourishes the cartilage and ensures smooth gliding. But for it to work well and be replenished, movement is necessary. When you sit for a long time, this fluid thickens and circulation in the joint worsens. Gentle rotational movements are like using an oil can for door hinges. You distribute the lubricant, make the joint more mobile, and help the cartilage receive nutrition. It's not strain, but rather maintenance for the joint. Imagine a sponge. When dry, it's stiff, but once you wet it and squeeze it, it becomes soft and springy. Our joints also need movement to stay hydrated and flexible. Robert not only reduced his stiffness, but also began to feel younger and more mobile. So, dear friends, don't be afraid of movement. Gentle rotations aren't strain, but care for your joints. Help them stay young and mobile for as long as possible. We've already talked about blood, muscles, back, and joints. But did you know that short breaks also affect your energy throughout the day? If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss new videos. Your support helps us continue creating useful and inspiring content for you. And now, let's keep going. 5. Fuel the fire of metabolism. Recharge your energy. 5th tip. Use the break for activity that gives your metabolism a little boost. Walk briskly down the hallway, do a few energetic arm swings, march in place, lifting your knees high. Margaret's story, 70 years old. She complained of constant lethargy, especially after lunch. "I only have energy until noon, and then I might as well lie down," she said. To perk herself up, she often drank sweet tea with cookies or candy. This gave a short burst of energy, but then an even greater slump followed. She was convinced it was just age, and nothing could be done about it. It seemed to her that her body had become lazy, and the only thing that could wake it up was sugar. The thought of needing to move, when she already had no energy, seemed absurd and exhausting to her. Her doctor advised her to replace sweet breaks with movement breaks. Instead of reaching for a candy when feeling tired, stand up and walk around the apartment for 5 minutes, maybe even step onto the balcony for some fresh air. Margaret was very skeptical. How will walking give me energy? I need sugar. But the doctor explained, sugar is like fast-burning kindling, giving a short flash and lots of smoke, blood sugar spikes, then a sharp drop. Movement, however, is like adding good logs to the furnace. The fire burns more steadily and longer. When you sit, your metabolism slows down, your body enters hibernation and storage mode. Short physical activity, conversely, sends a signal. Energy needed. Burn fuel. This improves insulin sensitivity, helps stabilize blood sugar levels, and provides a smoother, more sustained flow of energy. Margaret decided to try. When she felt the usual post-lunch drowsiness, she forced herself to stand up and walk around the rooms, swinging her arms energetically. It was hard at first. She wanted to flop back into the chair, but she noticed, after such a 5-minute walk, the drowsiness receded and a certain lightness appeared. After a month, she realized with surprise that she had almost stopped drinking sweet tea during the day, and her energy level had become much more stable throughout the day. She no longer felt worn out by evening. So, if you feel your energy waning, try not reaching for a cookie, but stand up and move. Kindle your inner fire. Your body will thank you with a steady flow of vitality. Physical well-being is wonderful, but what about mental clarity? After all, maintaining sharp thinking is so important as we age. 6. Refresh your mind, improve concentration and memory. 6th tip, use the break to change your focus and stimulate your brain. Go to the window and look into the distance for a few minutes, focusing on distant objects. Do a simple breathing exercise, slow inhale through the nose, slow exhale through the mouth, or simply walk to another room and back, paying attention to the details of the interior. George, 78 years old. An intelligent, well-read man who had always been proud of his memory and ability to concentrate. But in recent years, he began to notice that it was harder for him to maintain attention while reading. He got distracted more often, and sometimes caught himself zoning out, staring at one spot. This worried him greatly. "My head's not working as well, I'm getting old," he sadly concluded. He attributed it solely to age and feared further decline. The thought that it might be related to his habit of sitting for long periods at his desk, sorting old photos or reading, never occurred to him. He perceived it as an irreversible process of mental decline. His granddaughter, a medical student, told him that prolonged sitting impairs blood flow to the brain, and the brain, more than any other organ, needs oxygen and nutrients. She suggested a simple trick. Every half hour, stand up, go to the window, and silently describe in detail what he sees. The color of a car, the shape of a cloud, how a bird landed on a branch, or just walk around the apartment and count how many red objects he sees. George treated it like a child's game, but decided to play along for his granddaughter. He started doing these attention shifts. And you know what he noticed? After such a short break, it was easier for him to return to reading. His thoughts became clearer, as if a dusty window had been wiped clean. Why? Firstly, standing up and walking improved blood supply to the brain. More oxygen means better neuron function. Secondly, changing activities and focus is excellent brain training. It prevents the brain from stagnating in a monotonous task. It's like rebooting a computer, which helps it work faster. Imagine your brain as a garden. Long sitting without switching tasks is like neglecting weeding. Weeds, fatigue, distraction start to grow. A short break with focus on something new is like walking through the garden, pulling a few weeds, and watering the flowers, neurons. George felt his mind became sharper, and his fear of fading diminished. My dears, don't forget to air out not just the room, but your head too. A short break is a breath of fresh air for your brain. Help it stay clear and active. And finally, let's talk about something that affects our overall sense of happiness and calm, our mood. 7. Lift your mood. Banish anxiety and gloom. 7th and final tip for today. Make your short break pleasant and positive. Play your favorite tune for a couple of minutes and just dance or sway to the rhythm. Smile at your reflection in the mirror. Take a few deep breaths, imagining tension leaving with the exhale. If possible, step out into the sun for a couple of minutes. Helen, 65 years old, recently retired and living alone, children grown, husband passed away. She often felt down and lonely. She spent a lot of time sitting by the TV or just gazing out the window. Her mood was often low, and inexplicable anxiety would wash over her. She thought this was normal in her situation, that there wasn't much to be happy about. Any advice to cheer up or get busy annoyed her. She felt that no one understood her and that her gloom was a natural consequence of her life. She withdrew into herself and her passive state. Her neighbor, a very energetic lady, dropped by one day and saw Helen moping by the TV again. "Helen, dear," she said, "come on, get up. Put on your favorite song from your youth and just move to it for a couple of minutes." Helen initially refused. "Oh, Mary, I'm not in the mood for dancing." But the neighbor was persistent. She put on some good old twist music, and Helen reluctantly stood up and started tapping her foot slightly. Then, unexpectedly, she smiled and made a couple of clumsy moves. It only lasted 3 minutes. But when the music stopped, Helen felt lightness, as if a cloud had momentarily parted. Why? Physical activity, even brief and pleasant, stimulates the production of endorphins, our natural happiness hormones. Movement helps release accumulated nervous tension. Sunlight, if you go outside or near a window, promotes the production of vitamin D and serotonin, which also affect mood. The simple act, standing up and moving to music, breaks the vicious cycle of passivity and gloom. It's like opening a window in a stuffy room. It immediately becomes easier to breathe. Helen started taking these music breaks several times a day. She didn't become instantly cheerful overnight, but she noticed that bouts of sadness became less frequent, and her overall mood improved. She felt that she could influence her own state. Dear friends, your mood is in your hands, or rather, in your feet. Don't sit captive to the blues. Stand up, move, smile. Give yourself these small moments of joy throughout the day. You deserve it. So there you have it. Simple steps, my dears. 7 keys to better well-being, and they all start with one action: standing up every half hour for a couple of minutes. See? Nothing supernatural. But behind this simplicity lies enormous benefit for your circulation, muscles, back, joints, metabolism, mental clarity, and even your mood. You've lived a long, rich life, accumulated wisdom and experience. You deserve for your golden years to be truly golden, active, full of energy and joy, not overshadowed by stiffness, pain, and fatigue. Remember the stories of Arthur, Eleanor, Walter, Robert, Margaret, George, and Helen? They also doubted, resisted, but found the strength to try, and it changed their well-being for the better. You can too. No need to wait for Monday or the new year. Start right today. Set a timer for 30 minutes. And when it rings, just stand up. Take this small step towards your health and good mood. You are the masters of your body and your life, and it's within your power to make it better, more active, and more joyful at any age. Believe in yourselves, you will succeed. Take care of yourselves, and see you next time.